Hello everyone, my name's Dave and welcome to Rusty Customs. In this here video, we are still working on our 87 Kenworth W900, and I feel like this video lacks quite a bit, but I ask you to just hang in there. I feel like I can't leave it out exactly, but I lost some footage, some very valuable footage for this. The goal in this video was to finish with pulling the frame rails out of the truck, but I lost that footage. So bear with me, we're gonna get there. Also, you might see some conflicting things. I'm wearing a t-shirt and I'm outside and it's nice. Yeah, I'm behind on making videos, that's for sure. It has been hectic, but I appreciate you guys watching. So that wheel is now completely reassembled. We haven't adjusted the brakes up yet because we got to change that slack adjuster. This side I took apart. I didn't video it. I was out of cards. I'm new to this whole video thing and the editing and all that, so it's taken me some time to get an actual video assembled, but we're learning and we're gaining every day. So this side I took apart. There's these bolts right here that hold the brakes in place to the spindle, and the whole assembly, the brakes, the shoes, the S-cam tube, and the all this is all fastened to the spindle. And these two bolts, there really wasn't anything wrong with them, they were just loose. I don't know, the rest of them are all tight. I don't know if those two were ignored many years ago or what the deal was with them. So I just heated them up, get the nut off. They looked real nice. Cleaned everything up, put them back together. So I had to put a brand new seal in there. And this one is the same way. I haven't adjusted the brakes yet, though they could be, because this side is fine, but they are back together. And I haven't put all the lug nuts on. These tires are going to get changed. We might get the wheels polished. We don't know yet, but I'm not going to get too carried away unless I got to take it back off. Also got my buddy in the shop today. His name is Henry. He's the big man. There he is. He's a nice boy. He'll probably make a bunch of noise while he's in here, ruin a whole bunch of footage for me because he gets whiny after a while, but right now he's actually doing really well. Wish I had a couch or a chair for him out here, because he would probably stay pretty comfortable if he had something to sleep on. So yeah, now this steering gearbox has to come off, which you saw previous, we knocked that loose. So just got to take that shaft off the top end first. Then there's four good sized bolts, well, nuts. The bolts are in that piece in the back, so we'll get to work on it here. Drop this drag link off real quick. Oh yeah, you know, it would almost be nice. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure this only has one position it can go in, because there should be a spot for that bolt. Yeah, probably could be off by a couple teeth, but we're already there with this old girl. A couple teeth wouldn't be nothing. Now we drop that whole thing on the floor. Maybe it'll stay. Once I get the gearbox off, I can pull it out of there. Oh yeah, there's a little play in that. Alright, don't stay there, that's fine. Big impact. Now, let's see if this has any interest in coming off. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. the one and only with an exposed head. Oh, I was hoping that was going to make a mess. I haven't had any new oil on the shop floor today. I think maybe we can drive that in there. Keep forgetting 1.25" is the one size that I don't have, so I have to use the Nutwrecker 9000. Then we're going to fix it right with a chrome extension. That doesn't work too well. Maybe if I do it the really bad way. Oh yeah. Alright. Now just jump off it. Go ahead. Get off there now. Nope. I guess I gotta do it. Maybe I'm not gonna do it either. It was an attempt. Nope, nobody home. How about here? Yep. That was a little too much though. Uh-huh. Find its happy place, maybe. Apparently not. Oh yeah, we're about to have it all here in a minute. I don't know if I'm ready for it all. Oh yeah. See, that being a constant oil leak was worth it for the bottom bolt. Made it come off real nice. Got a little extra wood in there. Reinforcement. You know, when the frames are so bad, takes everything you can get. It's nice wood stuff, things. And I'm sure, being an 87, that those springs or spring pins and bushings are just top shape. Fingers crossed they're not worn right through yet and destroyed other stuff, but it's hard to say. Yeah, it'll be fine. No matter what, it's gonna be fine. So yeah, we're getting right down to the nitty-gritty. Still waiting on parts truck, and when that comes in, we'll be able to fly again. And I dropped off that fuel tank brackets and air tank, so they're out of the way. Might as well do that air dryer and that air tank, and then they would be out of the way. Mostly it's just going to be a disconnect from the frame. Other than that, it won't matter. Hi, buddy. And those actually would just be a torch job to get them off the side of the frame rail. And they can just hang there, except for that one I might get painted, or I'm hoping to get painted. We'll see how it goes. That is another one of my favorite games to play, called I Win. Uh-oh. Yep. And I should be able to just stay just like that. Leave it hang off the cross member. Not gonna hurt a thing. And I'm still gonna do that other side first as far as rails go. I'm just trying to whittle things off while we wait for stuff to show up. These frame rails are fun. Just looking at them all the years from 87 on, just warping these things. Big old holes shining right through. They did their job. Time for new. So this side is pretty much there. We're going to be at the point where we're going to support, I have to start supporting things. I was going to support this front end, probably somewhere's right in the middle. Maybe I'll just do this side out here on the end, and then start chopping all this off up here, and that's why we have to support it, because of the spring. And then support the middle of the cab and take that front mount off, and then torch these ones off. Anything that isn't supposed to be there that we're going to have to reuse, and support here in the middle. We'll just undo the, not undo, we'll torch off the bolts to the cross member, and then just support that there. And that'll be. That's always a good sign. I mean, we had enough troubles anyways, but yeah. So we'll support that in the middle to hold up the cab, and then continue torching, leaving every cross member. Get back here. I got to make new ones of these. They're so thin that well, there's a hole in it for one. Yep, I know it's weight reduction, but we do need a little strength. And this one's starting to give up because of its thinness, and there's probably a little bit of abuse there too over the years. We're gonna make new ones of those axle stops. It's only on the front. Both of them are pretty poor. And hack off all those bolts. And this stuff will pretty much sit here. I mean, the springs will tip one way or the other once you remove the frame, once you take it out of place. But then I got to make a new one of these. Gussets in here. This one is pretty thin, where it isn't rotted away already. There's plenty thin, so I gotta make a new one of those. And I might have to recreate this center cross member too. It looks like it's pretty thin. It's sandwiched, laminated, and so I'm sure inside there it's rusty, it's puffed, and it's probably not good. So the only thing we probably won't have to recreate will be the top ones. They're aluminum, and best I can tell from here, they're not broken yet, so we should be able to reuse those. And then of course the other side is almost just as bad as this side. It's just not rotted through, I don't think. Oh yeah, Yep, take that back. There's a hole in it. So that side is just as bad as this side. Got a couple small things to fix in here. We'll be changing this valve because it's no longer fast and it's just hanging there. Got to replace these. Probably do both of them because this one probably isn't far away from breaking. It looks like it is cracked there. It isn't far away from falling off because it's already broken. Well, it's a lot warmer morning than we've had. It's about 40 degrees out already this morning, or, well, it can't be that warm. I don't have a temperature gauge out there. I don't really know. It's supposed to be 40 degrees today or higher. It feels like it's above freezing out there. The snow feels packy, but it's hard to know. But either way, we're starting out at about 40 degrees in here this morning, which is real handy. Get a jump start on the temperature. And of course I did the right thing here last night. Yep. It's been about 4.5 minutes since I made a mess, so time to make another one. This one was an overnight mess. Even better. So we got to change these springs, and I was just kind of working on this bolt a little bit last night, last minute, to see how they were going to fight. And it doesn't look like it's going to be one of the easier things we've ever done, but it'll happen regardless. This spring pack is fine. I mean, fine as in not broken. Still not in that great a shape. This spring pack, however, is broken. Just one leaf. And while we got it tore apart, we are going to do them so that they are done. And put 2 new long leaf or long tail springs maybe, because not all of these have that extra rest with the springs coming all the way out there. It's kind of a neat idea. Without the truck being super loaded, you would end up with a space under there, and it's just riding on this back here, which gives you a little more cushion. Obviously not much load capacity, but it gives you more cushion back there when you're just riding around. Not quite beating the tar out of you like you would be if you were riding on that whole pack. So that's kind of cool. But anyways, not all of them have them. Some trucks, the Freightliner we have doesn't have that. It's just a regular, same suspension for the most part, except for it just quits here and it doesn't have that extra perch. So I'm gonna have to prop the axles, this one right there and that one probably on each side. I think it's gonna want to tip forward more than anything. So and then disconnect these top links. And I'd like this suspension to not get all wonky. I'd like to have it kind of sit pretty good. The walking beams are in good shape. The axles don't wander much. They don't dog track real bad, so, or really at all. Even loaded, I've hardly seen anything that you would say has wear in those beams. There is a set in the future that I need to change. The Freightliner that I was just talking about that has the same suspension but a different leaf pack, the bushings are absolutely shot in that truck. I don't know what I was thinking about. I could have swore on another truck we worked on that these bolts were threaded into this. I happened to reach up in here because I placed an order for my stuff. He was asking me about length, so I just thought I'd reach in there and see if I could feel the bottom of the hole. I didn't feel a nut in there. That just makes my day. That means I can just torch these off and knock them out. Be done with it. So easy. So easy a cave guy could do it. And the boy's playing. The old man's around here somewheres. He's not too excited about being in the shop, but he does all right. Henry, on the other hand, he doesn't care. He does a lot of searching. Anyway, so now we're just gonna get the Great American Hot Wrench out, and we're gonna meld off a bunch of stuff, and that means we don't have to pick this up near as far because I don't have to get the impact in there anymore. I can just torch them off and pick this up high enough to just get the spring pack out of here. That is awesome. It's like going on vacation. It's like going from the dungeons to vacation in no time flat, realizing that that's just a bolt.
with a nut on the bottom instead of a bolt threaded into rusty cast iron. Goodness, what a day. I don't even know what to do with myself for the rest of the day now. We gotta wait, I don't know, 4 days or something before we're gonna get the springs, so I guess I'll just have to find something else to do. I don't know what else that would be. All the cleaning's done in here. It's all organized and picked up, so I guess we'll have to find something to work on instead. And I did do a little sweeping over here. Look at that, huh? Got some new Speedy Dry. That's right, broke out the new stuff. There's a small pile of oil under there, so we made Mount Speedy Dry. And yeah, still gonna have to do a lot of scraping and cleaning in here anyways, try and make it a little bit more decent to work on so we can turn wrenches without getting totally covered. But we're getting there. Find a place to set you guys up and we'll get at it.
I had no idea how dirty that tip was. What an improvement. It did move some. We are winning. It's not great, but it's moving. We'll heat it again. Try that. I win. Need a different punch. Nothing to it, that's for sure. I mean, could have done that a long time ago, but I didn't. Oh, no way! Maybe that's the one that took grease. Or maybe that one's actually spinning the bushing inside the spring,
And all I did when I tapped that pin was it moved the bushing over, and it's still locked down really tight. We're not gonna be able to get the bushing out. Then we're gonna have to torch the spring off, and we'll have to make things really hot and messy, and if there's some grease there, we can burn that. We'll see. We'll see. I don't have my hopes up yet, but I am surprised that that moved that little bit. So yeah, let's find out. I haven't decided which way I want to drive it yet. Might have to take the tire off to get it good from this way. I'll be darned. Never, that's the one that took grease. I never would have guessed that that was going to come out of there. I didn't have a lot of grease. I guess I don't know which one took grease and which one didn't. I'll show you why it was so hard to get those bolts out. You can actually see when the bushing was run dry, you can see where that wear mark is in that bolt. And then you can see on this side, the whole way, I had to chisel this off the whole way because that pin was turned just enough that it was grabbing a hold of that. And so that's why it was a fight to get them off. Both of them I think were the same way, but this doesn't have much grease on it. So maybe the other one will drive out too, because maybe the other one was the one that actually took grease for real, because one of them didn't actually take it. And I think this one looks like it hasn't gotten grease very much anyway, so yeah, at least that one's out of the way. I started torching them. I got to torch the two inside ones. I got to torch the heads off. Can't get in the back to torch the shaft off like we did on those front ones or outer ones. And knock that little keeper bolt out here and do the same to the other side. Then we can pick this up and pull them springs out of there. How exciting! Oh, that's actually a spring center bolt, and it's seen better days. Sweet. So we heated that up and we reach in here and it actually is pretending like it's gonna turn. So the only thing we could have issues with now is getting those bolts to go down through those holes
What's left of them anyways. They're probably seized in there. But this is a pretty good wind. This is good. Enough heat, pressure, time. We'll get it. Oh yeah. All right. Now let's see if it'll come up off there with a big hammer. Oh, it sounded good. It definitely was good. What was that? I guess that's just cut off bits from torture. Thought it was broken cast. Made me nervous there for a minute. Oh yeah. How do you like that? There it is. One spicy hot piece of metal. Absolute success. So now, should be able to drive those out. Love it, just love it. So it's official. The only thing holding that spring pack in there is gravity. That's nice. Now we can do the other side. Get that one ready, and then we can pick this whole mess up and pull them out of there.
Got the inside dealios. Oh yeah, it's a little warm in there. There we go. Enough of that. See? Oh yeah, I'm a winner. Now we got these ones up front here. Oh yeah, and I should torch off that. Torch off this rotten bracket. Help us have access. That thing is so rotten. My goodness. Now, let's see, because these ones are going to be so nice and they're bound to just jump right out of there. Oh my goodness, it did. Ah, that startled even me. Look at that. Huh. 2 for 2? Oh man, what a day. That thing pretty near jumped out of there. I think, yeah, it's gone. Nice. Oh, because we gotta have this. it is showing promising signs. So let's take some weight off. That one acts like it might go someplace. How about this one? Plus the compressor's probably almost out of here too. Come to think about it. We just chop it off anyway. Easy enough. Chop, chop it is. That'll take care of that. There's one. And this one's ready, except for that bolt. Which is a very long-winded bolt. That one's got a job to do. Okay. I'll get somewhat aggressive without hurting my hand. I do like to do that. So this is the one that wasn't getting grease. I was trying. Every time I greased, I tried. But I never took the time to dig it out. And of course I already knew that they were getting changed, so I wasn't too worried about it. But I was worried about it coming out of there, so I'm thankful that it didn't seize up in the hole, because that's a lot hotter work, you know. Torch has to do it pretty much all for you. End up with a few burns before you're done. But now that we've come that far, I'm gonna put this wheel back on so it can sit on the ground instead of on jacks. And of course you can see my little wood frames. They don't have to do a lot. Did it for both axles because I took the top torque arms out. Now the brakes are set, which helps, but it doesn't do everything. So all they got to do is stay in there enough that if the differentials want to tip forward or back a little bit, they're going to stay for the most part. So that's what they're in there for. Try and keep everything in place as much as possible. And now we're going to be able to jack this thing right up in the air, and we should be able to weasel those springs out of there without too much fight. still want to keep an eye on hoses. I do believe we have plenty of room because these two, the only ones reaching that axle, and then these two will be the only ones reaching that axle. And the wires for rear end temps, they're, well, this one's about the same as the hoses, but that one there, that one's plenty long. We can go a long way before we run out on that one. Looking good so far. Whoops, miss. Miss again, why not? Oh yeah. I think that's just sitting. Yeah, I like it. That's probably not supposed to be like that. So we got a plate here, which has nothing fastening it this way. I shouldn't say fastening because it's all done by the U-bolts, but should be keeping it aligned. There is a little nubbin sticking out of the bottom of there, but that looks like just part of the U-bolt, or part of the center bolt, sorry. So does that mean that the head is sheared off in here? Because there's the hole for it, right there. And it actually looks like it looks like it's on the floor. It actually looks like right here, you can see this mark. I'm gonna clean that up and see, but this should be here and lined up with that hole there. And I believe this should be fastened to the spring pack. Interesting. We'll dig into that with a wire brush and see what we come up with. But that is one messed up side out. Sockets on the floor again. Nothing new. You know, let me in there. Maybe with a hammer, you know. Easy, Bessie. Oh. That looks like a broken bushing. Well, it's broken in a way. Broken because it was wore out. Ah. This is more what it's supposed to look like. Hole. Big nubbin on the bottom. It's rusty, but it's there. And this stayed fastened to a spring pack. So that means the other side is screwed up. I wasn't sure if there was some sort of step off deal with it, like it had have an individual alignment nubbin that would go into that plate and then the other one was up here for some reason, but just because of the way it looked without cleaning anything up. So that's cute. Now the other side, aside from seeing it now. It never really showed any signs of walking around, so that's a plus. It wasn't moving, but at some point it did move. You know, and it wore tires surprisingly well for being off that far, or yeah, pulled out that far. So that means that this, the axles were running forward, right? Yeah, pretty sure that's the way it was. It was running, axle was running forward to where it's supposed to be. I guess that would be a pack shift too. Really, in order for that to work, like each one would have had a shuffle, I think, because this one would hold on to the top plate. So it would have had to tip the U-bolts. I don't know. There was weird things that went on with the front axle too. I first started driving it, I noticed that I was losing my ability to turn left. And like it seemed like I was, but it wasn't enough to really stand out that I knew for sure something was going on. It just, I thought I wasn't turning left as good as I could. And then I would just play it off that, well, it must be, I just didn't take that corner the way I should have. Like it was tight corners coming out of the boss's driveway and clearing the mailbox across the road. The last day that I came out of there, was headed home, I noticed that it was bad, so I backed up and took off, and thought, well, it must be I just didn't get it right when I left the driveway. And I was greasing the truck that night, and I noticed that this spring pack was slowly working its way, while the axle was working its way ahead here. The center bolt was sheared off, and the center bolt that was left looked like a kind of like an S-bend in it. So the springs were all shuffling because the U-bolts at the top were the only thing holding it. This was working its way right out of here. Well, the wedge was. Yeah, the wedge was working its way right out. I think that was staying. But it all looked funny. I could see daylight through between the U-bolt and the spring there, and I know that wasn't right, so I just happened to catch it, thankfully. To me, that's why grease is important. Truck might not need greasing when you do it, but it keeps up on it, and you can keep up on things like that. So that's why I try and grease, even if it's just a week goes by and you didn't work that hard at it, you know, with the truck. Where you give everything 3 pumps, just to give everything 3 pumps, to put your fingers on almost everything of the truck. At least in one of these older trucks. There's a lot of trucks now with a lot of greaseless components, but then you got to make an appointment every time to go through it anyways, almost like you're greasing it. But in my case, greasing is a good excuse to look at everything, check your steering stuff, your drive line, your drives. So yeah, but even though I was greasing on a regular basis, I didn't catch this one. But I guess it didn't show any signs. I was looking for more broken springs all the time, so I guess it was staying, just for whatever reason it wasn't in the right place. However it got there. Now I think that one up front might have been from pulling it out. It might have been stuck. And whoever was trying to get it out was wrapping around the axle. Which, you know, it's pretty strong, but it's not like a pull point. You don't actually pull from the front axle. I know it happens, and sometimes you have to, but that's what these are for. But not everybody has the hitch that goes in there to be able to pull from there, so they just wrap around the axle. And I suppose if you're empty and you just can't get traction on whatever it is, you know, a little bit of slop or mud or whatever, wrapping around the axle probably isn't going to hurt anything. But if you're heavy, you sink. I mean, even if you're heavy and you don't sink that much, it adds a lot of weight, and the only thing you got is, you know, you're pulling through all that to move the whole truck. while the U-bolts keep everything torqued together, the center bolt keeps it all lined up. You start horsing on all that, it can start to all separate. I mean, separate-ish. It's kind of hard to, I don't know what word you'd put to that. Slip. Each spring can slide a little bit if it shears off that bottom end of the center bolt, like in this case. And it was fine for a while, but then it started drifting apart. And I'm just glad I caught it before the front axle came real loose. But anyways, that's enough of that. We have to, well, I say we, but you guys, you don't seem to pitch much of a hand in this situation. So I guess I am going to have to get those U-bolts there and there, and there. Those two bolts that are short, knock them back up because I didn't make them short enough. So they run into the walking beam down there. And then we'll have to clean those out back there. Chop them off short enough so we can knock them down out and then pull them out of this hole. Of course, there is the other option too. Now there's no springs, if I knock the one up, no, that doesn't seem to gain much of anything. All right, now you know, it's the old chop chop. There it is. Safety glasses on my head. Look at that. Gotta be careful here swinging on this thing. Although I don't think it's going far. It's just the front suspension it's rocking around on a single point. And actually that'd be a good idea to take the time now and put something on our stands, because that jack does settle, it seems to anyways. There's that one. Get in here a little more. Rust. So much rust. Now the rest shall be left for the wire brush. We'll wire brush the snot out of it and hit it with a little, I don't know, paint? Yeah, a little paint. Slow it down for, oh, about a week. Yeah. Still lots of stuff in the corners, but it's a lot better than it was. Maybe we'll see if we can find a little something. Man, professional paint job in a can, huh? That's actually just primer, but yeah, all it's got to do is look nice for a picture. Just one picture, all right? Look at that. Already looks great. So that was like the second time ever that I used the time warp on the GoPro, and cutting some of these bolts had some pent up stress in there, pent up aggression, pent up anger. I don't know what it is. They're just mad. They want to come off the truck like now. And yeah, that rust is just pushing things apart, and all these bolts are under a load all the time at this point. And that one there, I didn't even get cut back and forth at all I did was cut through the middle of the head and it blew it apart. A couple in here had some pretty good power behind them. So yeah, that should be all the brackets I need to get sandblasted this minute. Those ones, I mean, not even this minute, but I need those ones done. And I should do the exhaust hanger bracket too. Really, once you get that much cut off, that's done all the way to here. And then I think, yeah, there's a lousy 2, 4 there, 4 there, 6. Cab bracket, hanger, well, whatever you call those, frame bracket or something. And then that whole rail is ready to come out of there, which is awesome. Just got a call that the frame rails are actually done being painted. So now we need a drill. Well, that has been another Rusty Customs production, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back for more as we work our way through this beautiful old 87. It's getting prettier by the minute. I'm telling you right now, it's shiny again. So I can't wait till I can share that with you guys. We got some other things coming up too. That K100 that I just had in the intro, that's my truck. We're going to be going through that one. It needs a cam. This one behind me, that one needs work too. It's a customer's vehicle. It needs finished. It's been painted already, so it's already shiny. We just need to finish up some odds and ends on it and get it roadworthy again. So we got a lot of things coming, but I'm only one guy, so it's going to take us a minute. I appreciate you guys watching. If you would, give me that thumbs up, even if you didn't like it. Thumbs up. All right. If you want to, leave a comment. I'd love to read what you guys have to say. And yeah, subscribe for more. Thanks.